Everybody, in this video I will try to fix a Toshiba Satellite laptop for a friend. It has a bad display, probably something is wrong with the CCFL tube or with the inverter board, maybe even the wires between them, because now the display makes an image but there is no light, so you can see that image. If I shine a little bit of light on it, you will probably see that there is an image on the screen, but clearly it is not usable like this. So I will start to open off camera this laptop, because from what I remember the last time I opened it up, it has a lot of screws and it takes a lot of time to open it. So when I see the inverter board or maybe the wires or something, I will continue the video and we see what we do from there on. So you can see we've made some progress disassembling this laptop. I've tried to move the wires that go into the screen to see if that is a problem, but it does nothing. So we will have to take the screen apart and search further for the problem. And okay, camera, please focus. I hate it when it does this. It makes me focus and then it's focused. Bad firmware probably. Okay, so we will have to go more in depth with this, and as I remembered, it has an awful lot of screws all around and it took me a long time to open it this far. So we will continue. After some more work on this laptop, I found the problem with the display. It seems that this cable here, flex cable, is the problem. When you bend it from this point really hard, the screen flickers for a moment and lights up, then shuts down again. So it's clearly a fault here. A wire is broken, and if you flex it even more, the colors displayed on the screen will start to change, and that means of course that this has to be changed. So that's a pretty cheap component. I've already found it online, so I will order it, wait for it to arrive and install it. So it's a lot cheaper than changing the inverter or changing the CCFL tube inside the display itself. So we will continue this video when my flex cable arrives. Okay, it's been almost a week from when I started to fix this laptop. The new flex cable has arrived. I will open up the screen even more and replace the bad one. You can see this is not 100% identical, but it is a new same model cable, so it will work, no problem. I'm not really looking forward to putting this back together because of the huge number of screws involved. I've made, when opening it up, I've made some pictures, printed them and put all the screws in the position where I found them. So yes, I should be able to put everything back together without any problems, but we will see. So we will continue. Now I see that actually there is no need to open the display even more, because this is the way the flex cable is attached to the back of the display. So I will just peel it off gently, try it out, and put the new one back in, and everything will be good to go, or at least I hope. So we continue. I've just replaced the cable. It all looks perfect. Now I will just plug it in the laptop, give it a quick test, and if it works, I will put the laptop back together. I've just powered up the laptop. The screen seems okay. You have light. I will not film this video as I usually do, because this laptop pretty much uses all my workspace, and it would be hard to keep it all in focus and also concentrate on what I'm doing. So this not being my laptop, I would really like to be careful and not mess things up. So this will be done only in short joint movies. Quick update. This is completely assembled. I will just explain where the screws are. Maybe it will help somebody. So underneath this, for example, it's the same on both sides. There are two more screws that you can see. Here you see two rubber masks. Underneath them there are screws, but there are two more that you cannot see. So I've tightened those up first. There are on the hinges, on the internal part of the hinge, there are some arrows that tell you that you have to put screws there. In this screw you also have to put a grounding, something like, one moment, so I try to pick it up, something like this. It is on the cable, so you tighten those up with this one with the grounding, tighten the other two up, then put the plastic cover on, clip it all in place all around, then tighten these 6 screws all around, put the rubber protection mask, I don't know how it's called, back on. This wire comes out. Okay, my camera won't focus. Now I think it's focused. And at the other end we have the wire, I think for the wireless antenna. It comes out from the lower part of the screen. And now we will have to assemble it to the other part of the laptop, to the base. So I continue. At this point I've reattached the display with the 2 hinges, 3 screws on each side. You see the new cable plugged in. On the other side, the cable for the wireless antenna goes through here under the board and plugs into the wireless board. Now I will put the cover and all the screws, then the keyboard, and the keyboard. and we will continue. Just finished putting the top part of the laptop back on with 6 screws, 2 here, 2 here and 2 here, one on the other side for the optical drive. And a reminder, be very careful when you decide to improvise, because you can forget to put things back together in the right way. I've used the board for this button to power the laptop for testing, so it was taken off from its location, so I almost put it back together without that board, and of course that would have sucked because all of this would need to come off again. So I was lucky I realized just in time. Now we will continue. Just put the keyboard in. It slides a little bit like this, and there is only one screw here to hold it in place. It has a flex cable. On the top part there is a total of there are a total of I think of 4 cables. One flex cables, one for the keyboard, one for the trackpad and click buttons, one for the power button, and one for the touch controls for the media player. Now I will have to put this protection here. I think it also helps to keep the keyboard in place. It has 3 screws from the opposite side going into it, so that's what I will do next. On the underside of the laptop I will not guide you through all the screws that need to be put back in place because there are too many of them, but just be careful because there are some hidden places like this, this here, this, the one here. So they are actually under covers. You have to take off all covers and search for any screw. Maybe some of them did not need to be taken off. I hate this camera, it always tries to focus. Anyways, maybe some of them did not need to be taken off, but I hate it when I try to open something and it does not open, so it's better for me at least take them all off, and if something moves and it should not move, I put back the needed screw. So yes, there are a lot of them on this side, so I will start to put them back together. All finished. It's time for the final power up test. Yes, we have light, all is working. This was the culprit in this case, flex cable, and it all would have been a lot harder without these springs and all the screws positioned on them exactly in the place where they needed to be. So that made it a lot easier to put everything back together. Of course, Windows does not like that it was shut down a lot of times badly. So the final touch. Ta-da! You probably know who is using the laptop the most. my friend has a daughter, and of course she's the main user. So it's all good, all perfectly working, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. So this cable eventually failed in this area because of the rotating of the laptop hinge. Now we will open it up to see in how bad of a shape the wires are in here. Okay, so we're inside the cable, and you can see that some of the wires are completely broken. Sadly, I don't have a tripod to mount my camera for the moment, so you can see that I did nothing to this cable. I just unwrapped this protection and the wires were already broken. So many people, I think, should understand that it's not a good thing to always close the lid on your laptop when you finish what you're doing, because these tiny wires are always moving when you open and close the lid. So if there is no danger of spilling something on your laptop or something like this, it's better just to put something over your keyboard so dust won't settle on it. But try to open and close the lid as few times as possible, or you will get to this. From what I see, there are at least 3 broken cables in this, and maybe even more of them are not connected anymore, but the outer protection part of the cable is not broken yet, so they cling together, but they are not continuous. So it doesn't help at all to open the rest of the cable because the problem was clearly here. Okay, thank you for watching.